going on, people out there? It's your boy, Clayton R. Zeno. Happy 4th of July. And this is episode 12, Big 12, of the Zenocast. On today, of course, I'm going to be talking about the Trump bill that was recently signed, some videos I've seen on black people and how they feel about the 4th of July. And of course, it wouldn't be an episode of the Zenocast if we didn't have the mention of a scam. You feel me? So I'm going to dive into that. But first, again, I just want to say thank you to all who have been watching my content, all who have commented, liked, especially the people who dislike. Thank y'all. Because if I didn't see any dislikes, I'd be like, oh man, everybody probably agree with me type stuff. But the fact that I see people are disliking, it shows me, okay, you have watched my content somewhat. I have said something to trigger something in you. I like that. The algorithm loves that. You feel me? But yeah, let first things first. Let's get to Trump. And again, thank you guys for watching. And this will be a good one. Trust. Let me pull up this information here. And change this. Boom. All right. So we got a little Wall Street Journal video here that I will link in the description as well. But before I get to this, right, I just want to say with the 4th of July and also the scamming things, right, the overall theme of these three stories is the game is rigged in some way, some shape or form, right? Unless you choose to see it, flip it, and build it in your way. That's the key. Keep that in mind. All right, let me go ahead and pull this up.
The motion is adopted.
The House of Representatives passed President Trump's one big beautiful tax and spending bill.
Sort of celebrating like the biggest bill of its kind ever signed. And it's going to make this country into a rocket ship. It's going to be really great.
We're going to take you through some of the highlights of this bill. They extended basically everything that was scheduled to expire as far as the 2017 tax cuts. Back then, in President Trump's first term, Congress set all these tax cuts to expire at the end of 2025. Republicans really viewed those tax cuts as a huge success, and they made it a priority to remove that expiration date. The child tax credit has been $2,000. This bill will make it $2,200 and index it to inflation. The estate tax, they increased the exemption, so that's the per person amount that you don't.
So people been online on TikTok, mostly black women. They have been saying this repeatedly, upset, throwing their hands up in the air. All y'all that be getting the taxes, they ain't got nobody job. They be getting them $2,000 hits. You get two. If you're fortunate, you might get three. And that's damn near $6,000-$7,000. I mean, just there. You know, you ain't have to work for nothing. He's actually raising it. And then indexing it. So which means with it being indexed, it's going to actually grow based off the rate of inflation. That's a win in y'all book. And that's what they literally just said. That's a win in y'all book. They raising the child tax credit. Let me finish.
Don't have to pay estate taxes on to $15 million per person. Republicans really disfavored electric vehicles and clean energy tax credits. Now, anything purchased after September 30th is not eligible for those credits. On clean energy, the wind and solar in particular are taking a hit in this bill. They're going to be phased out faster. The state and local tax deduction has been capped at $10,000 since 2017. There was a block of Republicans from New York, New Jersey, California in the House who wouldn't vote for this bill without a much higher cap. What they got was $40,000. It's a pretty significant amount. That starts phasing down once income reaches $500,000. This bill also includes some new items, particularly ones that President Trump campaigned on last year when he was running for a second term. One is no tax on tips, up to a $25,000 deduction for tipped workers. Again, you're still going to pay payroll taxes on those, similar amounts for overtime pay. It's removing income taxes on the sort of half part of time and a half. So you'd still pay taxes on straight time, but then the additional half increment you wouldn't necessarily pay income tax on, you would get a deduction.
I mean, okay, yeah, it's kind of like you kind of get it discounted, but then you kind of don't. But at least you do get something like waived off instead of, hey, time and a half is got to be taxed just regular. Like you actually get to take home a little bit more money. So, I mean, that's a win. I don't see how that's a L.
Car loan interest for domestically produced cars, you'd be able to deduct thousands of dollars in interest. The fourth is a deduction for seniors. So the president talks about this bill making it so there's no tax on Social Security. That is not, in fact, the case. There's an approximation of that, an attempt to do something like that. It's a $6,000 per person deduction for people ages 65 and up. Generally, these provisions will all kick in for tax year 2025. They are temporary. They go from 2025 through 2028, and we'll see how they go. We'll see who wins the 2026 and 2028 elections and how eager they are to continue those policies. Republicans were looking for ways to get more money for their priorities. So they were able to say, okay, well, we'll just take the agencies we like and favor and that Trump wants more money for, ICE, Customs and Border Protection, Homeland Security, the Defense Department, missile defense, those kinds of things, and shipbuilding.
I mean, those are all things that we need to fucking protect the country. What are you talking about? Like, well, you gotta. I mean, he's kind of pushing it off as like, oh yeah, it was just Trump's idea for these couple things that he wanted. We we need these things. Cybersecurity. We need better ships with the Navy. We need to put more energy and time and money into our military. What's wrong with that? Maintaining our borders. I'm confused. What is wrong with that? I don't know. Let me finish playing it.
And just plus those up and add up several $100 billion that are going to all of those things. One open question is what happens with the base levels of funding for those agencies, whether Congress, this Congress, or future Congresses, particularly if Democrats have some more power, start carving back some of the annual money for those agencies.
This dangerous and extreme Republican budget will result in Americans losing their lives.
And the biggest point of contention is Medicaid, which is the federal state health insurance program largely for low-income people. One of the things they did is create work requirements. So able-bodied people will have to start looking for work or having work in order to be able to get Medicaid work requirements. Among the biggest single items saving money in this bill, that's about $326 billion through 20.
I'm with it. I'm with it. I'm with it. That particular thing, and I hope he mentions food stamps next. I hope he does. Don't ignore that shit. But I am with it 100%. If you want free Medicaid, Medicare, low income Medicaid. I'm sorry, Medicare. I think that's for kids, right? But Medicaid, right? If you want that shit, get off your ass and work, right? Join the rest of us. Join the rest of us in the whole, oh, got to clock in, boom, clock out. Because believe it or not, it's been people that's been getting free ass insurance, free ass food, free ass housing, and damn near free ass transportation for the better part of 20, 30 years. And they ain't worked 100 hours in total in those 30 years. They might have worked an event or something just to try and get some extra money, but never enough to where it'll, fuck up their benefits. Just like that video I did of my last episode where, actually that was the clip where I talked about the Black excellence. During that, I did play a video and I reacted to it of the lady saying she doesn't want her child or her son to go to work. He's trying to be a productive adult and actually trying to do something with himself, put himself in a better position than, being the government's bitch, right? Sucking on the government's titty, because that's essentially what a lot of people are doing. He was trying to do something better with himself, and she did everything she could to try and tell him, don't do it. Don't even try to do it because you're gonna mess up what I got going on. But what you got going on is a bunch of scheming, a bunch of scamming, a bunch of lazy ass living, low life living, if you will. Uh, but yeah, she did not want her son to go to work, and I definitely gave my 2 cents and added an extra cent on that situation. But as you guys can see, they're gonna have to get their ass up and work. You have work requirements, right? Most people don't know that if you apply for food stamps, right, and you don't have a child and you're not under some type of government disability or something, they'll give you food stamps. They will. But you will only get them for like a month or two. And guess what? Chances are you're probably going to get no more than $100. So essentially, it's just like a free grocery shop voucher for 2 months. And every month you have to go ahead and like turn in work searches and stuff, and say you went to X, Y, and Z interview, and guess what? Most of the time, we people think, oh, no, they ain't gonna call the people. They just want me to turn it in. Bullshit. They will call those people. They will actually ask those people, did such and such actually come in for an interview? Did they go to the hiring event? Did you offer them a job? And let's just say if they did offer that person a job and they refused to accept, um, they could be put in a situation to where obviously they're going to be cut off, and they probably won't be able to get any kind of assistance or anything remotely close to that, right? Um, and possibly a lawsuit type of deal. But for those who don't have those work requirements, your ass got them now. So let's continue. Let's continue.
34. You also see more frequent eligibility checks in Medicaid. And there are also changes to premium tax credits under the Affordable Care Act. All those changes will mean that by 2034, 11 million people will not have health insurance compared to what would happen if Congress did nothing here. Republicans were concerned about the effect of that on the providers. And so to deal with the changes they created, there's a $50 billion rural healthcare fund.
This bill represents, in the text of this bill, the largest and greatest loss of health care in American history.
Democrats have highlighted in this bill is really the contrast between the effects on low-income people who are receiving benefits from Medicaid and nutrition assistance, and the tax cuts that go to some extent to tipped workers, but a lot of money is certainly going to very high-income people. And so if Democrats win the House majority next year, you may see them try to delay or change those tax cuts.
It's going to add much more to the debt. And so I think without...
See, that's the problem, bro. When we trying to make progress, you got people fighting against progress. Say what you want. These motherfuckers been living off scot-free off the government's titty for a long time, bro. It's about time somebody actually step in and actually say, hey, stop it. This is a great, great part of the reason, not the main reason, not the only reason, but it has a significant part in why we so fucking behind, why we so like financially fucked up in the country, as as far as the government's concerned. Like, I hate when people try to fight for people to just continuously be a pawn in the game. Like, and what's bad is the same people that be on these things are the same ones that obviously are the loudest about it. Like, it shows like, bro, y'all not trying to do nothing with yourself. Y'all not trying to actually go out and change the trajectory and the direction of your family. Y'all don't want to do that. Y'all want to continuously be lazy, live off the government, live free, get free ass money to go buy whatever stupid ass groceries you want. Like, what's crazy? Down here in Houston, we got a couple, not many. I'm just saying, not many, but there's a few health food grocery stores, I'd say. Whole Foods, it's about 4. I think in the Houston city limits, right? That doesn't include Pearland, Katy, the Woodlands, right? But inside the Beltway, it's about 4 Whole Foods in the Houston area, right? And it's Central Market. I don't see a lot of people going in there and paying with food stamps. Not because they don't accept it, because they do. It's because people that have food stamps and live off the government, they don't like to do what's right. They don't like to actually say, hey, while we got this free food, why don't we just eat healthy? They live in the mindset of survival, right? They live in a mindset that is poor, that is poverty stricken. They believe if my whole what you call that? If my whole pantry isn't full of food, then we're not doing good. And that's not the case, right? If your pantry doesn't necessarily need to be full of food, but you do need to have healthy alternatives, and more so, you don't need to have these unhealthy Walmart, Fiesta, even Target in a way. You don't need to be having that shit icebox full of just random ass shit, and you thinking that, oh, this is for the kid. Yeah, but the thing is, y'all are killing the kids. That's why RFK Jr. is trying to do what he can to actually get a lot of these fucking dyes and a lot of these fucked up things out of our food. We don't even realize a good portion of the processed food that we eat is illegal in other countries around the world, which means in a lot of European countries, they can't eat no damn wieners. You know what I'm saying? They don't eat that. And I'm gonna get to the 4th of July in a second, you know. But they don't be eating that stuff, man. That shit is illegal. They can't sell it in stores. They can't do nothing with it. Meanwhile, you got people here fighting to goddamn y'all fighting to be another grave spot. And I know that's kind of hard to say, but y'all are fighting against health, bro. You know, a lot of things, as I always say, I've been saying it since I made my first video. A lot of things in the world, it revolves around a certain kind of mindset. You don't always have to grow up in the hood, but if you always had that poverty, poor, survival mode mindset, then it doesn't matter who you are, what state you're from, white, black, Hispanic, Asian, it don't matter. You still gonna kind of think the same and operate the same. Sick, man. It's sick.
Without question, this is not a fiscally conservative bill.
This bill absolutely increases the deficit. The way that Congress looks at this generally is what happens to deficits over the next 10 years through 2034 if compared to a scenario where Congress does nothing. That's about $3.4 trillion according to the Congressional Budget Office. That's on top of the $21 trillion or so in budget deficits that would happen anyway. Republicans have sort of 2 very different arguments about why they think that's overstated. One, and this is coming from the Senate, they say, okay, look, let's just assume that the tax cuts were going to be extended anyway. That's 3.8 trillion. And so really, if you look at it that way, this is reducing deficits by 400 billion. The other way that House Republicans look at it is they say economic growth. They argue that the tax cuts plus other Trump policies, whether it's deregulation, energy production, those kinds of things, are going to speed up economic growth and throw off more tax revenue and therefore pay for a large chunk of this bill. Economists outside of the White House are very concerned about the drag of budget deficits on the economy, and they're worried about higher interest rates and a growing pile of debt sort of counteracting that growth effect.
Well, my opinion, right? I can't hold back. My opinion, right? It isn't a perfect bill, not by a long shot, right? But he is going head first and trying to tackle the things that we honestly have been abusing, right? That's the whole point of what Elon and Doge is trying to do. They're trying to come across all the misuse, all the overuse in the federal government, right? You know, um, it's going to take time, but if Dems get back in the House and God forbid if we have a Democratic president, a lot of these things are going to be wiped away. A lot of these things are going to be just pretty much ignored. I just hate how some people literally try to make other people just pure lazy and say, hey, they're a victim. But see, at the same time, those people that be the loudest ones outside of, those in poverty, right? A lot of those white people, a lot of those white Democratic people that be up there going all hard and all that, guess what? They will never stay where y'all stay. They are using you guys, uh, they're using y'all struggle as their way to make money. They're becoming millionaires off of y'all. Think about it. Think about it. It's sick. It's horrible, right? But let me go ahead and get to my next topic here. A little 4th of July. Right. Happy 4th, my people. Or at least. All right, give me 1 second. Let me pull up this video. Where is my feed? Where is my feed? There we go. So it was this young lady that actually posted a video on TikTok. 1 second as I'm pulling it up.
I don't know why people keep.
Oh, there she go. There it is. All right. Ignore all the other stuff on her, and let me just hear what she has to say. Just hear what she has to say. All right, there we go, and let's play this video.
Ask me what I'm doing for the 4th of July. Baby, I'm minding my black ass business. Do you understand? America's independence. For who? That wasn't for us, baby. Look at the times that we're living in. Y'all worried about what we doing for the 4th? You need to be sitting at home trying to figure out how to get the passport to Ghana, baby. Like, what I'm doing for the 4th. Minding my motherfucking business. You should be too.
I mean, one thing about black people, right? And I love being black, right? The things that I talk about here, I don't want someone to misconstrue that, oh, he doesn't even like being black for how black he is. No, 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 no. I enjoy a lot being black. Like y'all see me right here? That's black. You know what I'm saying? I love it. But at the same time, I'm not going to sit by and just let y'all embarrass yourselves by effect embarrassing me, right? A lot of this outrage is performative. It's good for clips. It's good for the algorithm. It's good for TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. Good for all social medias, right? But again, it's a certain kind of mindset, right? I don't know if people had looked at my Juneteenth video in which I don't celebrate Juneteenth. The reason why I don't celebrate Juneteenth. And it's not so much, oh, I'm gonna just celebrate the 4th of July. No. Because that also too is a scam within itself, right? I understand based off historical context. 4th of July, when it originally was conceived, it necessarily wasn't meant for people like me. I get it. But I wasn't born then. I was born in 94. So essentially, I'm an American. Like my mom's born here, dad's born here, grandmother's born here, grandparents have been born here, right? So yes, as a U.S. citizen, I do have the right to, enjoy this holiday and not look over my shoulder as if I'm doing something wrong, right? But at the same time, I get it. I ain't trying to be stuck. I ain't try. I have no plans to go out, go to nobody's party, go to barbecue, dumbass people outside lighting fireworks. I hope all their ass get thrown in jail so they won't be out till next week. Because you can't actually pop fireworks in the city limits. It's illegal. Start a fire, things like that. But whatever. I don't care about the 4th of July. Not even in the slightest. It's honestly a day in my way because it's a bank holiday. So if I was getting paid today, I would be ass out, you know? Um, I'm still working. As you guys can see by looking at this video here, I'm still actually doing what I do. Still making content, still producing, still recording. You know, the grind doesn't stop just because it's June 19th or July 4th or May 28th, May 29th, whatever day Memorial Day fall on, right? Hell, on my birthday, the grind don't stop. Like, I ain't celebrating I probably ain't celebrated my birthday realistically since I was in middle school. And that wasn't even a celebration. And it's not like, oh, don't nobody care about me. No, nigga, it's just another day. Like, it's another day for me to go ahead, do what I gotta do, get my shit scheduled, see what I can improve on, look at other people, see what they got going on, see if I can take some things from them or see if I can change some things up. Because maybe we're doing the same thing and maybe I see them doing it and it looks differently when they do it than when I do it. Maybe it's a compare and contrast type of thing I got to have with myself, but just having that mindset of understanding, like, bro, it's a grind. Like, I didn't just decide to go chill today, go to the pool, go make barbecue and stuff. Barbecue cool, but I can have this shit year round. You know what I'm saying? It's not that big of a deal. Like fireworks, I done pop fireworks before. They all the same, bro. They all the same. I done did it. So what am I missing out on, or what about saying, oh, F the 4th of July because it wasn't even for us. We trying to leave. No, I'm not trying to leave this country. I love this country. This country, honestly, specifically for me, ain't treated me bad. Yeah, as a totality, historically, yes, you can point to a lot of situations where the country did not treat black people accordingly. At the same time, what the fuck they got to do with me right now? There isn't something saying, oh, because you black, bro, you can't post your videos. Or because you black, bro, you can only post 2-3 videos a week. Because you black, bro, you can only get like up to 1,000 subscribers. You can't go beyond that, right? That's what I hear when I hear people throwing around little shit like the lady said. Oh, we trying to get our passport to go to Ghana. Yeah, I'm trying to go visit, like vacation at some point, but move? Fuck no. This is literally the most profitable country that you could be in. You can go from nothing to something. All you have to do is work your ass off. But there's a key. They will try to distract you from what you're trying to do, from your goals, right? People, the society, social media, they will distract you. They will tell you you're too cocky. They will tell you you're too arrogant. They will tell you, oh, you black, so that ain't really meant for us. They'll tell you, oh, that's only for white people. You know, it'll tell you everything under the sun. But just like when you telling somebody something positive and they ain't listening, when they tell you some negative shit, they try to keep you stuck. You in one ear, out the other. You know what I'm saying? We don't waste time on people who trying to complain about the system. We building our own. We building our own system, right? So my last story on today. Let me go ahead and bring this up. Oh, sorry, y'all. Having a little boom, boom, boom. And plus, it's hot as shit outside, bro. I ain't trying to be out there. Man, if you never lived in Houston, let me just say this. Between goddamn late May up until early October, you might as well be in the oven and having it rain in that oven like all the time. Cause it's like you're hot from the actual heat and you're humid from being near so much water. And that creates the most uncomfortable nightly walks. Anytime the sun is down, it's debatably worse. You know, and that's not like a crazy debate. Like, nah, I think it's legit worse at night than it is during the day when you got the sun out. But forget that. But speaking of Houston, right? We have another scam in the area. Let me go ahead and pull this video up. And this is a biggie one too. Um, this actually did not make it into my countdown for top tier scams.
And the DOJ is.
Yep. So let me go ahead and pull this video up. We have a deplorable ass healthcare scam, right? So in my top 10 scams of, historically in Houston, there was a large healthcare scam about 10 years ago, 10-ish, 10, 9, 11 years ago, that around 33, 32 Houston area doctors, nurses, physicians were swiped up, right? It was, I forgot the name of the Ashford Hospital scam. That was the Houston connection and also part of a larger network of scams nationwide, right? But this is some new shit, right? This is brand new. Scam literally just was announced, or I guess they rounded everybody up. So let me just go ahead and play the clip and see how deplorable this
Is charging hundreds of people in what it's calling the largest healthcare fraud bust in department history. The investigation, known as Operation Gold Rush, uncovered nearly $15 billion in false claims and seized more than $245 million in cash, luxury vehicles, cryptocurrency, and other assets. State and federal prosecutors.
Whoa. What is all of this? Look at this. Man, forgive me, bro. Make this bigger, dog. Let's take a good look at all of this, right? So what we got, right? Intended loss or intended fraud loss, excuse me. I'll read for a second. $14.6 billion, right? That's a shit ton of money, right? 15.6 million pills of controlled substances illegally distributed. So, and people want to know how the streets get it, right? The streets just don't find pills just laying on the sidewalk. And if they do, please believe they were dropped off by a certain somebody who was one of the few people who only had the ability to get that kind of medicine, right? $245 million in cash and other assets seized. I guess that would include the cryptocurrency and the vehicles as well. It's a lot of fucking money. I wish I had like a tenth of it, right? Criminal enforcement, right? It's 324 people that have been arrested, or at least, actually, no charge. They haven't been charged yet. Hold on. Defendants charged 96. They missing a number? Well, civil enforcement, 48.6 million. Settlements and charges, right? And I guess 126 defendants in 50 federal districts. God damn. This is a massive scheme I see why this is a record-breaking scheme right here. This is probably in history, historically, the most biggest fraud scam ever in healthcare history in the United States. Like, shit, that's a lot.
Prosecutors have charged more than 320 people in the bust, including suspects based in Russia, Eastern Europe, Pakistan, and other countries. Among the nearly 280 state and federal cases is a $10 billion urinary catheter scheme. Authorities say that case highlights the increasingly sophisticated methods used by transnational criminal organizations to defraud the U.S.
Hold on. So y'all using people catheters to kind of, Some evil shit, bro. That's some evil shit. And yes. I am under the belief that yes, I know as well as anybody do. People in the hood, niggas do steal, right? Let's just be honest. But some of the most lucrative and biggest thieves out there in the world, I mean, they right there, bro, in front of you downtown wearing a suit every day, bro. They in your doctor's offices. They in high towers, bro. They all at the top, man. And I'm not saying all of them, right? Because you do have to have a certain level of character, but not always. Sometimes you can weasel your way, and I mean weasel your way into things, and have a certain position, making a good amount of money, and you with it. You know what I'm saying? You doing all the little fast tricks with the money, saying which one you want. You know, um, and also right, um, they love to wrap it in professionalism. So I think that's what it is. Like, and how they're able to get away with it because they're wearing suits. They have titles and doctor this, have degrees from X, Y, and Z, doctorates, all that. But bitch, I'm a scammer. Like, all scammers don't look alike. Some scammers be at the Galleria. If you're from Houston and been to the Galleria, you know, right? Some scammers, wear dingy ass shit, right? Some scammers have the big fake teeth like Brian had on the episode of Family Guy. Um, but some scammers really be in the doctor's office in these higher end, higher up positions. And bitch, they be making millions upon billions of dollars, not even thinking about it twice. But let's go ahead and finish this off.
These criminals didn't just steal someone else's money. They stole from you. Every fraudulent claim, every fake billing, every kickback scheme represents money taken directly from the pockets of American taxpayers who fund these essential programs through their hard work and sacrifice. And when criminals defraud these programs, they're not just committing theft. They're driving up our national deficit and threatening the long-term viability of healthcare for seniors, disabled Americans, and our most vulnerable citizens.
Nearly 100 licensed medical professionals were also charged, including 25 doctors. And the DOJ is charged.
All right. So, in total, right? In the end, in totality, people be scamming, bro. They scam in your housing, vehicle, food stamp scams, plenty of banking scams, healthcare scams. You as a person, right? And this is why I say everything needs to start with a mindset. Everything starts with a mindset. I don't care what you're doing, who you're doing, like who you are, how you're doing it. Actually, I do care how you're doing it. That's why we need a mindset, a certain mindset. Everything starts with a mindset, right? This is why you need to have multiple streams of income and understand, and also have a game plan. And with that game plan, understanding that you can't play chess in a checkers world, right? Think about that. You can't play checkers in a chess world, which means you have to outthink the system. You can't become a person that's dependent on the system, right? Yes, use the system to get where you need to go. Use the system to fund what you need to fund. But at the same time, have a game plan, have an exit strategy. And it's the same thing with all these things, right? If you're working in the medical field, as well as you should know, how to perform certain things and, understand like terminology and all this stuff. Character, right? Character is something that I believe it's not really shown that much. You need to have character because if you don't have character, You're gonna continuously keep having these national healthcare frauds, people scamming, people scheming. It's gonna constantly keep going. You know, people are gonna lose more and more. Um, and that's one thing I'm trying to help people to do. I'm trying to, in effect, I mean, some people might say snitching, right? But I'm trying to warn people, hey, they scamming like a motherfucker out here. They will leave your ass broke and poor by yourself, looking crazy. And these people be going on a trip, drinking mimosas and things, and you over here on your last breath because you didn't stressed out. You can't even think straight. Blood vessel and burst in the eye. Your blood pressure then shot up through the goddamn roof because you done lost all your money and you don't know how. We need to start paying attention, right? Because everything comes back to a mindset. You know, that's what I've been telling people, right? If you guys keep reacting emotionally to headlines, you'll always be manipulating. The world rewards the builder, not the complainer. So, today, at the end of this episode, if you guys have made it this far, what are you building, right? What are you working on? What are you trying to build? Either you've been putting things together, like physically building it, or you're still in the development stage, right? Comment down something that you're working on that kind of boost your mindset, take you away from the whole, oh, we out here 4th of July, we about to barbecue. Yeah, I'm good, bro. I just cooked tonight, I'll be working the whole day trying to get to a better place in life. Like, comment down there if you want to be in a better place in life, if you want to be someone. You know what I'm saying? Also, comment if you think I'm completely wrong about anything that I said, because I love to have a little bit of discussion. I don't want everybody always agreeing with me. I want people to say, no, you're a piece of shit and you ugly and your breath probably stink. I'm with it. I'm with it. But thank you guys. This has been episode 12 of the Zenocast. And have a wonderful rest of your 4th of July. Thank you guys so much. I don't know what the hell that was. Peace.